I ain't gonna play.
I think you got to hit start. Let me hit start.
Oh,
You got to hit start. Uh-huh. That's it.
All right. All right. So, this is oh fuck, I gotta. That's fine. This is me rapping over it now. Okay. So this is me goofing off.
Okay.
All right. It's a minute and 30 seconds, and then we're gonna jump right in to our special guest. Duke Des did it. Check out, damn, I done fucked it up after everybody done fucked it up all night. God damn. Deuce. Here I go, Deuce. Duke Desdunes.
Well, that's typically how people do. People been butchering my name since a kid.
Well,
so.
I haven't butchered it much.
At the doctor's office.
When I met you, I butchered it, but tonight was horrible. Not to say anything bad about anybody or anything, but I've never seen a name just been forgotten, and you've been there waiting. It's okay. It's all right. But anyhow, shout out to tonight in his performance as well. We'll talk about it. We're going to talk about it. I'm going to let it play. September 14th at the Bell Auditorium. Country Wayne and friends will be in the building. It's going to be a great show. Country Wayne is going to have multiple guests.
My dog, comedian Cedric.
Off the Rip's going to be there and performing Augusta Zone, comedian Cedric. You're going to have the Preacher Lawson. You're going to have comedian CP, Cortez Macklin. Help me out. I ain't going to sit and butcher no name. To the right, ladies. I forget her name. Y'all know what I'm talking about? The girl with the gums.
Daquin.
Yeah, Daquin. I always say that one. That one with the gums. Yeah, never mind. But y'all make sure you get your tickets now because they're going to go on sale. They're on Ticketmaster, and they're going right now, and they're going to go up just like any other event. So go ahead and get it while you still can. And speaking of, you got Certified CEO Clothing. It's got new clothes on deck. You got the yoga short sets. You got black and gray, all right, available. Go check them out. The link's right here below. Go ahead and look at it. Get it, grab it. Go check out. They also got a red and black Black Wall Street shirt. Both colors, red and black. And new signature scene color will be dropping of yellow on the way. I'll keep you posted on the date. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys again. Always a pleasure. Peace. Hey, I can't use this.
No,
I can't use it.
Clearly you can't. Clearly you can't.
I will. I mean, I think I'll find a way to.
On some Weird Al Yankovic type vibes, you can. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that, listen, that's a lane. If you think about it, nobody's really doing that right now. Nobody's making funny, comical raps like how Weird Al used to do. So it gives me that type of vibe.
Yeah. That's all I do is just be trying to have fun. Yeah. I ain't a rapper, like I said earlier.
Like
I'm
when
a rapper.
Eminem, you could tell Eminem was having fun on a song because he'd give you a whole lot of nothingness. It'd be almost like word vomit, but it's very comical.
Yeah.
But he always kept a lyrical prowess in there.
Well, listen, I'm not going to talk about Eminem. I had enough conversation last night about Eminem.
Really?
Yep, because I don't anytime I see a post where someone has an agreement, it seems to be an agreement that Eminem necessarily isn't a GOAT, I'm all for the conversation.
You say he's not the GOAT?
No.
He's not one of the GOATs?
No.
At all?
Well, okay, when you look at if he's a GOAT, then everybody's a GOAT. In the sense of what people
so what are we judging GOAT off of?
All right.
In rap as an MC, as a rapper?
I'm gonna clarify like this. I'll clarify like this real quick. He gave a different lyrical approach to hip hop. Would you agree? That's a good statement overall. Credit to him.
Without a doubt.
That'd be the only thing I'd give him.
Him and Lil Wayne, I think, did that.
Okay, and you say that. How many singles Lil Wayne got? How many singles Eminem got? Eminem is hyped up by all his extra additives.
When you say extra additives, what's
Dre.
That? We need a producer. Lil Wayne
I get that. But let me finish. The singles stopped being popular at a certain era for Eminem, and he's attached himself to benefit off of it, I feel like, to make it is a social media game. See what I'm saying?
But, I mean, if you look at every rapper has an era. Some rappers have multiple eras. Some rappers' eras stop. So he's in that space where he had that window and that pocket, and he was so dynamic in it.
But he got it. That's what I'm saying. I can give him one of the greatest lyricists. that don't mean when you're one of the greatest rappers. Not in my book, because the whole song as a package is important to me. It ain't just the rapping. But speaking of whole package, we got a big man in the building, and I ain't just talking about the weight. I ain't talking about how much he put on his plate. I'm talking about how much this motherfucker eat on stage. Okay, this motherfucker took us to church tonight, and look, I think I've known you close to a year now. I would say close to
Probably a little bit over.
maybe over a year, right? And I've been around him a lot. I've seen a lot of his energy. He brings the environment to life, no matter where I've seen you perform. And tonight was amazing.
When I hear
minutes.
people say certain things, I kind of understand it, but I think sometimes other people that may hear, when you say bring the environment to life, what does that mean for you?
Okay, I had an example. I told you earlier about a competition I'm in. Kind of not hecklers in the background, but just over talkers were kind of taking over one of the comedians going up, and I don't know how I would handle the same situation because it was majority of his set, and he couldn't really tame it. But when the host come in and settled the room, and he also brought the room back to life. I've seen you do that. I ain't seen too many comedians I go in that host or are part of an event that can. No matter what they do, they're bringing that crowd to life. And I think you bring a certain character and energy every time you come on stage and every time I've seen you. That's what I mean. I don't know if
I understand exactly the breakdown.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you have to, I've seen where hosts are good at telling jokes, but they're not good at commanding attention to the point where if it go array, if it kind of detours, if there's, any additional influences, if you have heckler, if you have somebody that's, you might have some people that's not a heckler, but everything you say, it resonate with them. They want to respond or they want to blurt out. Like the young lady tonight, I don't know if you heard her, she kept kind of
toasting in here and there. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate the flowers, but let me deliver the whole package, and then you can give as many flowers as you want. And I think you have to be able to be commanding, project your voice, understand your patience and your cadence and your pace, and don't let nobody detour you. Like, you're the master of ceremony, you're the MC.
Yeah, you there to portray that energy.
You there just to govern it and to steer the ship.
Yes, sir.
So do that, and there's ways to do it. And I think for me, one thing, a good friend of mine, shout out to my man Morpheus Monk, he told me, he was one of the guys that was motivated me to do comedy. And he was like, he saw me maybe about a year and a half, going in 2 years in. And he said, hey, listen, check this out. You funny. We know that. He said, but stop going up there trying to be a comedian.
Just be natural with it.
Be you. That guy that's in that barbershop that's cutting and telling those jokes that you are, go up there minus the barbershop, minus the cuts and the clippers, and give them stories with that same sense of genuineness and that same signature style. And then let the onlookers, the patrons, the audience, and the crowd say the comedian Duke Desdunes. Don't go up there as comedian Duke.
Yeah, they soaking up that energy from what you're giving off. That you say this. I told you earlier about signs. I'm telling you, man, this shit signs. There's a brand new comedian that's coming to. This is like his 7th or 8th time performing right in this competition. Another guy, shout out to Lynn. I'm gonna get him on. I'm gonna try to work with him on his comfortability. Very jittery, very nervous. But when he talks to me about his set, I said the exact same speech this week to him. No lie, I said the exact same shit. Don't try. Just do exactly what you did to me just now.
Yeah.
Say the exact same shit, punch it up, find some different jokes, and say the exact same shit. It's funny. He's a funny cat. It might not be, I don't know. All of us have our unique ways. Just like, I'm trying to make it clear that the different palettes I come on, majority of these guys are comedians, but I'm also bringing on rappers, producers. I'm gonna try to have entertainment, right?
Yeah, you're hitting a broad spectrum of entertainment.
I know you got a lot of stuff going on. I know we got a short span to catch tonight. We're gonna do promotion, but you are a superstar that I feel like I have met, just like a lot of others that have been on this platform.
I appreciate that. That means a lot, though. Like, cause I look at, I was never I can't take comedy like sports. It's a parallel to sports. It's a parallel to high school or maybe college. where the underclassmen can't necessarily sit at the cool lunch table with the upperclassmen.
Yeah.
And I've always was the young cat that could figure out a way to sit at that table. Not because I particularly wanted to, but because you said I couldn't.
Yeah. Prove you wrong, motherfucker. Watch me.
So I have the ability to understand people. And if it was, and I was one of those, we call it in New Orleans, ribbon, right?
A ribbon.
Some people call it roasting, whatever, Joan and Rankin, whatever.
Got you.
So it's in that line, right? So, and I did it every day from the neighborhood to the park to, wherever we were at. I rode public transportation like they have MARTA in Atlanta. I'm not sure what you have out here in Augusta or whatnot. Is your form of
Roasting?
public transportation?
Oh, I mean buses.
Yeah, so I drove public buses.
Bicycles.
The only time I would ride the school bus, like when we was in school, is if we went to like a field trip or something like that.
Yeah.
So just imagine you're on a public bus with a bunch of different schools, about 3 different schools at a time, depending on which way you're going.
Oh, yeah, because y'all like more population and compact, more density.
Yeah,
Y'all
so we had to wear a
probably-
uniform just to identify what school you went
Yeah.
to. Right, so you're on a bus, it might be a middle school and 2 high schools going that way.
Yeah.
And then at some point, this school, and you hop on that bus. And so it might be 30 minutes, 25 minutes. You got to be on this bus. And you getting on there and, somebody just stopped at McDonald's. Somebody go get them a donut from the store, whatever. Somebody taking breakfast sandwich from the house.
Taking rotations out of
You know what I'm saying? I might be the one with some instant grits with some eggs, and I'm on there with a little bowl. And like, bro, look at your fat ass. And I thrive in being attacked, right? Like, I think that's why I've always liked defensive players.
But now let me ask you this when you say this, because I feel that statement, thrive in being attacked. Mm-hmm. I'm good at rebuttals for aggression purposes. Mm-hmm. I'm not. Did you ever have a difficulty maintaining it like that? I can't maintain it all the time. I have to strictly think I'm doing jokes, or if I'm responding to, jab, so to speak.
It's always jokes for me.
It is, but it's
right?
different. I can tell those.
No, I can tell.
That's a vibe when I get in that vibe.
I can tell. But what you have to remove, it's never personal, even when it is. Because, for instance,
look past
if
the personal.
we roasting and we talking shit as kids, right?
Yeah.
We don't really do this much as adults, but as kids, I can know your mom was a crackhead giving head in the neighborhood.
Oh yeah,
I can know this,
yeah, I get what you're saying.
and I won't say it because I feel like I'm a true sportsman in the verbal jousting. Mm-hmm. That I can be more creative rather than really pull your pants down and expose you. You know how they used to do that, pull your shorts. And, I can do way better
Timmy
than that.
got a little pecker.
That's low hanging fruit, right? Everybody kind of know. We know, but nobody verbally say we know.
Yeah,
but it's understood. I don't have to say that because that's low-hanging fruit. And I'm looking like, you couldn't do better than that. I could say something else more crafty. Yeah. And for me growing up, I grew up around a lot of men, so I used to hear men talk shit differently. So I knew how to talk shit from a grown man's perspective. And then I go to my peers and I condense it to a childlike, but I was a little bit more elevated than the average little peer. My dad was a mechanic. My uncles and stuff fixed cars, and they were crafty men. They were handy men. My grandpa.
And now, speaking of which, I don't want to be clear. You come from New Orleans. You ain't from we talk about Atlanta. You originally from New Orleans. So
from New Orleans.
This whole setup is New Orleans.
Yeah, I'm born and raised.
Not Atlanta. So don't
Seven
get it
Wall,
confused.
downtown.
Yeah.
Nine Wall, 8 Wall, yeah.
I don't know what Atlanta's like neither, but I want to be clear for any of my listeners. You ain't talking about Atlanta.
I didn't get to Atlanta until I was 20. Katrina hit 2005, August 2005. I got to Atlanta like mid-September.
Yeah, so you wait. Yeah, we ain't gonna talk age on here, but I was still in elementary school.
I'm 40. I was when Katrina hit, I was 20. I made 21 here the following January.
Hey. Yeah.
Yep, for sure. And Atlanta been good to me. Like, I don't have no problem. I love Atlanta, love the Georgia area. I dig it. It's prosperous, it's progressive. It's some good people, some good rooted people, and some good imports. People who import from other places. So
I got checked by Atlanta, and not to talk no shit. I come up to the Improv. Shout out to the gang, Big Play Ray, all the guys.
For sure. Shout out to Play.
I was coming up one of them nights, and I was just gonna post up and go for a run. Remember, I talked to you, and I was gonna set up at some spot. Right. My homeboy was like, "No, you don't know where the fuck you going." And I told, "What street you at?" He's over. I think I was over by Peach Orchard or whatever. Peach
Maybe
something.
my neighborhood when you came to my crib.
Yeah, that was straight. It was straight too.
Yes, take because you went and took a run, did you not?
Yeah, I did take a run. Yeah. We took a run at the park. Yeah,
Briscoe Park.
But see, I don't think like that. I still would go to Atlanta downtown.
That's because
11 o'clock.
Listen, what it is you have an innate ability to be Caucasian.
Yeah.
And you can't get away from it.
True.
It's something about you guys. I think
it doesn't. Well, let me say this way you say that. It doesn't hit me until we leave improv. Mm-hmm. And I forget the guy's name. I saw him twice, 2 times I come. He had a bunch of dreads. But anyhow, the security comes out. That's how I say it. And when the security comes out and I'm walking, I'm like, oh, and now I see why I shouldn't be running. Some shit probably happens right here. So it clicks later for me. It doesn't register right away.
Right. But it's really just a free spiritness that y'all naturally flow in. And I appreciate that. Yeah. Like I've worked with white guys before, and I was like, man, it's the natural free spiritness of there is no hesitation. And speaking of white dudes, you opened up from Michael Rappaport. I did last year. I saw that was a great set as well. Yeah, City Winery. You know, it's a dope dude. I like Michael Rappaport, man. He's a solid cat. We talked, had a good little build session, in the back. And shout out to City Winery in Atlanta. It's a dope spot, for sure. Hey, speaking of spots, I've hit up a couple lounges. One lounge with you. I've seen you at the Underground. We performed that together. What are some things you got going on? Tell us about what you got going on and what you got coming up so that we can plug this stuff and they can get in touch with you. Well, tomorrow I'm hosting a comedy and trivia. Soul on the Patio at She Did That Soul Food, so shout out to She Did That Soul Food. That's a new up and coming spot. She's been there for I want to say about 4 years, if I'm not mistaken. But it's an up and coming comedy spot, a place where we can vibe, we can have a good time. It has a natural flow, it's not uppity. It's very loose and relaxed. It's 420 friendly. We're going to have a mobile bartender. We're also going to have a mobile hookah. We're going to have my man. Mobile hookah. That's new. That's cool. Yeah, we're going to have my partner who do all my shows, DJ King Jaffe. So shout out to him. Shout out to you. And that's Saturday. 7 p.m. Centerville, Georgia. It's today, man. So it's today. Later today. And we're going to cut this when we get done. So I already got it marked down in time so we can go ahead and post it. You can have it. Because we already passed 12 midnight, right? It's 12:30 right now. So pardon me. So later today. I was going to correct you at the end, not tomorrow, today. We'll be ready for tonight. This man is working. Yeah, later today. So I have that. This is our first run for it. It's from the feedback from what I'm hearing, it's going to be a dope turnout. So, anybody out there, y'all come pull up on me. It's in Snellville. She Did That Soul Food. You can catch me on all social media platforms. DUKEDESDUNES. That's Duke Desdunes. Great, black, and funny. And just hit me. You know what I'm saying? If you need to book me, hit me. If you want to come to any of my shows, if you're in the city, hit me if you know something going on in your area and you can connect the dots. I love the network and, Good guy. Great guy to work with. You got any particular questions for me? Because I love your energy. I was going to ask you. I know we've talked already after the show and about your set, but for the people watching, for the people that's going to watch the episode, he just performed. We were at Icons Bar and Grill. Shout out to Icons. 1515 North Leg Road. Pleasure always when I come through. Always great hosting and ready. But Bano was your host. You were the opener. Charlie Mack was the feature, and Marcus Smith was our headliner. Yes. Shout out to Grounded Entertainment as well. Shout out. Yeah, absolutely. They put a dope show together. Shout out to my brother out here in Augusta, Cedric. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Dope guy, super funny comedian. So yes, Augusta put on I rock with Augusta. Now I want to ask though. Now my question here with this, after saying when you look back at tonight's set, I believe it was a fantastic set. I believe personal set, not working with you in improv and whatnot.
that's best I've seen. You know what I'm saying? Like the energy it brought the room to life. It really was great. Do you walk away looking at ways still to improve?
Absolutely.
Are you still going to critique yourself?
I'm gonna go.
You told me your method earlier.
You recorded me.
Yep.
Like-
You told me your method earlier. I just wanted people to know.
And on my other phone, which I'm using to go live right now, I audio record that. So I'll look at this when I have some time laying in the bed if I can't quite sleep or whatnot, and I'll listen to the audio when I'm in commute a lot of times, and sometimes I can grow the set or I can condense the set by listening to what the people say, and I've saved the set so many different times over the course of time. I see what really hits, and I tell comedians, physically record yourself if you can. A little tripod, find your little spot, best lighting, something. If you have a bro there, one of the sisters in comedy that can help you, they'll record you. But if you don't have that, you can always audio record.
So that's my game plan
every time. So, and I think what that does is like I say, I find parallels with comedy. Like sports. If your left hand weak and you at the open mics, you gotta work that left hand, which means work that new material. Stop trying to be the king of the open mic. Work that new material, right?
Yeah. Stretch the game.
Absolutely, constantly punch it up. Never satisfied, so to speak. Or be appreciative, like you say, in this moment, and how good people say that I did, and how you feel about. Like I'm deeply appreciative. Doesn't matter, particularly the money I got paid. It matters that I was able to do what I love to do. I got paid to do what I love to do, and I did it in a room that really was open and receptive and appreciated what I was there to do. You see what I'm saying? But I'm constantly thinking about, okay, well, how could I did that better? How could I have executed? Was my pace on point? Did I step on my jokes, or did I really get off what I intended to get off for that length of time allotted? So, I'm always in that space of it could be a little bit better, or that was damn good. How do I? Okay, let's put a pin in it. That's the standard.
That's it. But see, next question: how would you? Each comedian, each joke's different. Each personality's different. So I understand judging oneself perfection of a joke is different. Mm-hmm. But how do you know when you feel like you're close or you're there? Because I know I got good jokes, but I just can't. It's got to be compact with stuff, and then it changes up. And then, like you say, you say it so many times, you might say it even better. And you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
How do you really solidify and zone in that you're getting what you know this is what it is? Like, for instance, I know then just to correlate off tonight's event, I know that your handicap bit is hilarious. And I think I probably didn't take time to say all this stuff, but to zone it in, I've been
saying it. I've been saying that about.
It's a whole performance, bro. It wasn't just.
And that's just really is longer than that, right? But just that right there, that pocket of it. I've been saying that probably about a year and a half, maybe going on 2. But I had another joke that I had before that. But when I saw this joke grow legs as fast as it did and started to materialize as fast as it did, that joke just fell in line to go right to follow it up. And then I saw the storyline of the joke, and I was like, oh.
We're going to play it out this way.
Oh, okay.
Change it up in the moment.
And that's why when you have all these mental sticky notes, or you have in your notes, you'll get something at a point, and you'll be like, oh, no, that goes here.
Yeah.
That's it.
It was fantastic.
Right? So that took me, I would say, a little less than 2 years to get it to feel like what you felt when you received it.
Oh, because I guarantee you could do it again and again and again and again. I'm telling you, man.
And sometimes when I go to open mics, I'll do the joke in a different arrangement. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll do it with a different cadence, or I change the verbiage up a bit and see how that lands. And I'll be like, okay, let me stick with the classic, because it have become one of the classic stable jokes that I have.
So you still test it?
I still test it. Because when you're cooking, let me try paprika this time.
Yeah. I don't know about seasoning.
You know what I'm saying?
That.
Like I'm known to garlic powder, a little oregano, a little black pepper, a little Creole, but I never paprika'd it.
Yeah.
And when you do it, you're like, nah, Or you may add a little onion powder. Be like, whoa, that's it right there.
Yeah.
You know, so you're just constantly tweaking until you just get that. And then when so many people say, I love it right there, that might be where you need to stop. Like, I'm a barber by trade, right? And on the average, traditionally in a barber shop, you got about 20, 25, 30 minutes on a cut. You could sit there for
Damn,
an
really
hour
that
and a
quick?
half. Yeah, no, you could sit there for an hour and a half. Or you can really get that cut damn fucking good. But if you're looking for perfection, you're going to lose in time, which then going to make you try to rise your price up to eat up the time that you're taking on such cut.
Yeah.
So, but if you're trying to get a good quality cut, get people in and out, and in that traditional barbershop setting, and you're not privatized and giving people the manicures and all the extra glitz and glam that comes
Yeah,
with
we
it.
just talking about haircuts.
Just a pure haircut, you could do it in 25, a half hour.
Yeah.
Depending on cut. If it's a basic kid, simple, even, or a quick fade, you can do 3 of them in an hour.
Yeah. Because I know me and my daughter go in and get cut in less than 30 minutes.
But
I mean, it's
so
just
you see what I'm
trims,
saying?
but
Now, if you
yeah.
get all the bells and whistles, the extra shit,
Yeah.
then here comes the length of time.
Yeah.
So what I use that to say, you could be a perfectionist, or them people could say, man, I like it right there. And you could say, I'm going to give y'all what y'all want. Or
like
you could overthink it, constantly go back in the lab, but it's like they like it right there.
Yeah.
It's the right amount of cheese in that macaroni. You don't have to add 4 cheeses. I know you stuck on 4, but when they tasted at the second and the third cheese, when you added that smoked Gouda, you don't got to add the Munster.
Yeah.
I know you love Munster. That's what you love.
Mustard? I
Munster,
like
Munster,
mayonnaise.
Munster, cheese.
No.
I'm just saying.
Oh, I didn't know what that word was, bro. I got
Munster,
GD.
but that's a cheese. That's a type of cheese.
Yeah.
So
I
what
know
I'm
what-
saying
what,
is,
American-
you ever had a joke that you really like, that you don't want to forfeit?
Yeah.
And but the crowd don't feel the same way about it?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. When you get to a space where that joke hits, you don't have to keep putting the spin on it. They say they like it that way, and they constantly like it, and they raving about it through
Okay,
response and laughter.
I'm going to ask you comedic advice then. I've told you my black balls joke before.
Mm-hmm.
It works. It works better with more premise build up and more follow through.
Mm-hmm.
Or like, and punching up to the moment of impact, and like using my surroundings more at the end. I've used to where I use my produce a little differently in the joke. Nonetheless, you say that example of not wanting to let it go. I don't want to let that go. I want to be able to say that joke in a majority black crowd that is elder, and I haven't been able to do that yet. And,
But you can, though.
Well,
you can over time.
Yeah.
But sometimes you got to let that joke kind of go dormant, go to the next one. And that's what I was saying. You'll have a joke where you'll be like, oh, they love this. And some kind of way you could tie that joke in, and it then gives that joke that they love legs.
That callback,
and
yeah.
extends it out. So now if the joke was 7 minutes, that joke right there is 3.
Yeah.
You could round that up to 10. So now you could say, if that's all you got, I can do 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Well, I'm a judge. I'll tell you how I judge myself for sets, okay? If I don't feel confident, I believe one-liners are more than one line. For how I write, there are 3 lines. And usually they wind up being a one-liner or a two-liner, right? But in that same sense, I want a roll-on joke after joke after joke. Just it don't got to be no emphasis, but just getting the crowd chuckled and chuckled and chuckled.
What you're talking about is your laughs per minute.
Laughs per minute, yeah. I want to work
you
on
have
that.
You have to, and that's one thing that I did focus on early: cadence, pace, projection,
Yeah.
and being authentic, like having an authentic sound with my comedy. It's an authentic brand of comedy. And when I understood laugh per minute, which I understood it early, a comedian, I think his name is, shout out to Jay Ward. I heard him talking, and I kind of ear hustled him. And after he had his conversation, I pulled him aside, and he gave me a quick breakdown on laughs per minute.
Yeah.
Then I went and searched it, and I was like, okay, it's a real thing. And this is probably about a year and a half into comedy at this point. But once I understood it, I said, okay, now, because a good laugh takes about 6 seconds.
Yeah, they say you're supposed to get one every 20.
Like 6 seconds, right?
Yeah.
So if you have if you say, okay, make me laugh in a minute, you have 60 seconds. How many times can you make me laugh in 60 seconds?
Probably twice.
Okay, you need to compress that down, and you need to get at least 4 laughs.
Agreed. So Cedric last year at the competition made that very clear that it's we was doing.
You want an average 3 to 5 laughs a minute.
Yep.
Maybe 6 if you really kind of like
Zoned
rap it
in.
on them. You on their head,
He said
right?
a good comedian does every 20 seconds. You're looking to retrieve interaction from the crowd at minimum. Even if it ain't a good laugh or a fall, but you need to be building towards that. Every 20 seconds, you're getting them in more and more and more. And that's what I'm working.
And that's if you're a good storyteller, right?
Yep.
If you're a good storyteller, then those laughs extend a bit. If you're not, then go. It's like in basketball, or let's say football. If you're a running back and you're a bruiser, I'm not going to ask you to do scat back type of things.
I don't know none of those phrases.
Well, scat back is the guy like a Reggie. You know who Reggie Bush is?
I know who Reggie Bush is.
You saw how he moved?
Yeah.
That's not how Jerome Bettis moved.
He looked like he was floating on butterflies.
Like a Barry Sanders move?
Yeah, motherfucker.
That's not how a traditional, what they call
Marshawn
downhill runner type
That's
moves.
Marshawn Lynch.
Marshawn Lynch, he's shifty, but that's a
he'll
different
take it to
breed.
the nose,
Oh,
though.
he's
Yeah,
downhill.
he
Those guys
throw
are
it, motherfucker.
deflective guys, and they're going to throw you off. Their moves is like a Kyrie versus
Yeah.
a person that's going to bang you and get in there and grind it in.
Yeah.
You know, the ground and pound type of. So if you know your superpower, then save the day with the superpower.
Yeah.
And then when you doing open mics, now you go and you start working that weak left hand. You start doing the things that you know you're not good at and being intentional, but going there with a sense of intention. Like, yo, I see some guys get up there and they do like, they'll say some shit on the back end like, oh, when you know, comedy, will just be going in there fucking around. Once I took comedy serious, I never fucked around. I was just getting introduced to this thing called comedy.
Yeah.
But once I understood and started having tidbit conversations and getting that type of jewel drop, laugh per minute and so on and so forth, understood the structure of the craft of comedy, then understanding the business on the back end, I never play with it.
Yeah. It's a lot to
When I go to
understand.
the gym, I plan to work out on iron and get my strength and conditioning up.
Yep.
So I'm not drinking. I don't drink really until after the show. I don't eat until after the show. I don't want no real level of comfort. Weed or whatnot, that allows me to keep cycling in my thought, and I don't get stagnant in thought. So it does that. But the drinking and partying, I'm not here to party. I really don't want to play. I want some isolation.
Yeah.
I understand me. Like, I understand me. So I know what I need to produce this performance level. And I'm going to tell you another thing. Never get on stage and recite jokes.
What you mean?
Perform them.
Oh, exactly. Every time's a show.
Perform
it should never
those
be
jokes.
An act. It should always be a performance.
I see a lot of comedians get up there and they deliver their jokes like they favorite comedian.
Yeah.
I know a lot of comedians that over the time that all they want to talk about is the specials they watch and this, that, and I guess that works for them. But I watch a special here and there, you know. If it's raving or I don't even watch specials that's not raving. I just be in that mood like, yeah, I'm going to watch a special. When I take a long road trip, if it's typically over 2-3 hours, I'll watch a special. If it's 3 hours, I'll get me an hour special in.
Yeah.
If it's 2 hours, you know, I'm
Well,
typically.
I don't watch comedian specials unless you grab me on social media.
Right. And I understand that. But
yeah.
I'll watch certain stuff because if it's a rave about it or just some comedians I watch, you know what I'm saying?
I didn't watch none of Cat Williams specials, but I did like his interest. But I think I've seen enough to where I don't think Cat Williams going to entertain me the whole time. Not to say he's not hilarious.
So you never seen none of his classic specials like back in the days?
I have, but I just don't like. Okay, what I'm getting to is I was going to refer back to like us as upcoming comedians referring to other people's comedy.
Right.
The podcasting has helped me get out of that.
Gotcha.
I didn't get to watch Martin. I didn't get to watch all these other culture shows, Living Color. I did get to watch Bernie Mac show.
Okay.
So talking on that sofa was my approach and like visually thinking like, that's how I need to talk to the crowd.
Right.
You need to take what I'm feeding you and this is the joke, how I'm going to lay it out. And now I realize I got to formulate the joke better with the performance because I'm not Bernie.
Right.
But I do.
You have to keep your signature style, but it's cool to take
But I
the
find it
bones.
here.
It's
I'm
cool to
taking
take
the
the bones of how Bernie Mac did his delivery in that
I'm
style.
finding it right here. I do my own style here because I get in my mode here on camera, and I'll be talking to the world, and it's my version of what I'm, what I'm taking from Bernie.
Yeah.
And I do think gear. Speaking of the fits and the sets, Certified CEO is going to be dropping a yoga set for the ladies that I believe is black and gray. Give me 1 second. Yep, they black and gray. And they will be dropping at the end of June. The date's still to be announced. But I'm also going to have, there's going to be a men's set as well that's going to be black and red. And then you're going to have on June 17th is the Black Wall Street shirt is going to be dropping. So be on the lookout. Go to CertifiedCEOclothing.com. Check them out and always be on the lookout for where he be. They got stuff going on at Icons he's a part of. You can always check him on the road somewhere in Augusta one night. Go check him out on Facebook. See where he's at. Pull up. Get some merch. Appreciate y'all. Tune in.
What's happening, man? This your boy Sean Paul right here on Young Blood, Sean P. East, man. Look up, man. Certified CEO. You know I had to come get the news, man. The ladies in the news, man. For real, man. Nothing but black love, man. Stay up, my brother. Certified, man. CEO, you know what's going on. Wall Street.
Bernie Mac is probably like my favorite comedian. I would say.
I like him.
You know
I
what I'm
like
saying?
him.
Like he probably like, he in there like I feel like Martin, even like I give respect to the grind, understanding what it takes, being in the thick of it, the level of elevation that they was able to get their careers, and not just how good of a comedian they are in the craft of delivering comedy. What Kevin Hart has done, what Steve Harvey has done, what Bernie Mac has done. But you got other guys that probably haven't did those things. Like Tony Roberts is a beast. There's a lot of comedians that's just super cool. You got guys that's local in the Atlanta area, that's super dope and super funny. Mario Torres is hilarious.
Mario.
Henry Coleman is hilarious. Marvin Hunter is hilarious. You got Wellington Juku out of Atlanta, who's super funny and crafty.
Shout out Desi Banks off the rip. You've been working with Desi Banks a little bit. You've been doing skits.
Man, listen, Detroit Reed, my homie Detroit Reed. You know what I'm saying? Like these cats, they funny. You know what I mean? Like, I went and saw Desi at when he was in New Orleans at the Fillmore. Shout out to Desi and his whole crew. And comedy is really subjective, but I try to look at the business and the craft.
Got to
make my assessment.
I think that's
to be more true, because just doing comedy, I know guys that's not even comedians that's hilarious,
but they don't want to make no money off of it or make no approach like that. They ain't no brand.
But they don't see themselves as they just regular people in real life, but they super funny. So delivering funny is easy, but to do what Kev did, to do what Steve did, to do what Martin had done, to do what Chappelle has done, to do it at that level and still deliver funny. And navigate through business and have sitcom syndicated shows, Mike Epps with the Upshaws, and you know what I'm saying? Like, that shit is dope, and I see it from that scale. That's why I say, once I realized I understood the business of comedy, I took it serious. I don't never play with it, because you can't play with it and achieve any of that.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
And see, and I'll take it back to the cat to just wrap that up. I don't think Cat Williams isn't funny. I'm not saying that I don't think Kevin Hart isn't funny. I think both these guys are hilarious. I think both these guys don't get the credit they deserve for how long they've been in the game. I think it's a new wave of us comedians coming.
For sure.
I think
it's a draft class every year.
I'll say this. I'm going to say this. And I don't know if this is fair to say because I am the white guy here. And I feel like I think my subscribers are majority black already, and that's fine. But don't rip my head for this. I don't think Cat or I don't think Steve. I don't think they're the same funny anymore.
No, of course not.
And I think that Richard Pryor and Bernie Mac and there's a guy from New York that everybody talks about.
Patrice O'Neal.
Patrice O'Neal. There's a guy I get referenced to when I do really well. George Carlin. George Carlin.
A beast.
He's an older guy now. I'm not. Let me take that back.
Beast.
That example's bad. I believe possibly if they lasted this long, they would make me feel the same way too. And not to overjudge, they're all kings of comedy. Sure. I feel I don't like the word washed out. I just think their version of comedy has changed, and it's more for like Kevin Hart, for instance. I think Kevin Hart's zoned in on a commercial approach to comedy.
Of course. But
It's different.
You suppose. Listen,
You gotta adapt.
When you
I get
listen,
it.
listen. If Tupac was still living, in my opinion, he probably wouldn't be rapping.
Yeah.
He probably would be doing some dope ass movies. He probably would be on some philanthropy shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Biggie probably would be building his son up. That pouring into his children. Maybe he probably dropped something here and there because he's such a nostalgic love for rap and he's a lyricist. Him and Tupac probably would have got together and really squashed the bullshit.
Think so.
Like people had a chance to grow. They died
Yeah.
at 25. So if I'm a comedian, I'm super fucking dope at 25, and now I'm 45.
Yeah.
There's no way I could be that. You're not gonna hang out with the 22-year-old version of you.
No.
You won't get in the car with him and ride the fuck off.
Well,
Nowhere. You're not even going to the store to get blunts with him.
probably not.
Right?
Probably
So
not.
that means, you changed perspective, your carry on, your delivery, what
Well,
you
I
produced
don't mean to
in
take
life.
nothing from him. I'm
You know
just
what saying?
speaking
But
it
that just
from my
happened with growth.
perspective of
Like,
it.
Jeezy is not the same Thug Motivation 101
Well,
Jeezy.
okay. Why Cat Williams in the gym? Because he got his ass whooped by that little boy.
Why he's in the gym?
He's in the gym, right? So here's my approach, and just the same way with rap. I cut off rappers the same way. You got to adapt, like you're saying, adapt with the motion, right? That's why I don't necessarily knock Kevin Hart the same way. I'm good right now. Because he found his lane in the commercial world, and he's navigated his comedy. But it's not my comedy.
I
You understand what I'm
can dig
saying?
it. I can
You
dig
get
it.
what I'm saying?
I can dig it. Like, for sure. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's hard to look at who's the GOATs now because I feel like, again, I done had rappers, I done had podcast people that I feel like are gonna blow up one day. Producers, I feel like directors I done met. The amount of network I'm doing, the amount of people I feel like are really about to be stars.
Mm-hmm.
Poppy Hugo just was on. I met him once. It's
Yeah,
fine and dandy, but I
yeah.
made an impression as a. I promise you, I paid an impression.
Met him a couple times. He's a dope cat. He's a dope cat. And he's super fucking funny.
It's so cool to watch the wave we going through, and I don't, like I said, I don't want to discredit the old heads. I just think that it. I think I heard it from someone like Andrew Schultz, if you know him. Charlemagne. They talk about it on Brilliant Idiots how comedy's coming back. Comedy's coming back in a range where we can talk how we want to talk, kind of have a free voice to a degree. But it's
I think people buy in when they see your sense of genuineness and they see your consistency and they see your authentic approach and what you produce out of your genuineness and your authentic nature in the business of entertainment, in the business of, like when people love a Denzel or one of my favorite is Tom Hanks, is because when you watch them, it's a sense of authentic genuineness when they come across the screen. You believe that character is a real person living around you somewhere, and somebody's telling you almost an autobiography of Forrest Gump. You know what I'm saying? Like when Denzel do roles, it's almost like an autobiography of this character in these situations in this movie.
What's
so
that
much.
movie where he put his son straight in the backyard about football and not going to the store and working?
Oh yeah, you took Fences.
Fences.
With
scene
with him and Viola Davis.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
that
saying?
scene most kids can
Viola
relate.
Davis, like Viola Davis has a sense. Listen, because I'm taking a lateral move with this acting, right? So I signed up for Actor Access. Shout out to my homegirl Ashley, who helped me out. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to her. She just got married, by the way. Congratulations to you and your husband. Shout out to her. But then my other homegirl, Morgan Flowerchild Productions. You know, she's super dope. She's also assisted me. I'm at a place now where, you know, I need assistance. I need a manager. You know, like I'm in a different space because I have a lot on the plate, and God is really blessing me. Like God is really putting me in good position. So
How does that feel, being in this moment? We're just acknowledging that right now. Does that feel?
my most true answer, it feels like about fucking time.
About fucking time. Knew it was supposed to be coming the whole time.
Knew that I was working on something that meant a lot because it was so true to me. Like I've rapped and I could rap a little. You know, I'm a hip hop kid, born in '84. So yeah, but when I found comedy, and I'm good at a lot of things, but when I found comedy, it's the most truest expression. It's the most truest thing that I could produce outside of my child.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that made me feel what sex made me feel as far as the climax. After I'm done, I'm warm, I'm lathered up, the back of my neck, the small of my back is wet. You know what I'm saying? I feel
He
good.
looked like he come out of a sauna sweating. Feel good.
I feel good. You know, doing that so many times. And in Atlanta, it was a time when I was doing comedy, open mics, book spots, whatever. But I was doing comedy about 3 to 6 nights a week. One week I do 3 to 4.
Intense.
The next week I go 5. The next week I go 3. The next week I might do 6. It might be 2 shows. There's one time, several times when I did 3 shows in the night. You know, just catching. You know, like
jumping,
just on it, making it my business. I wanted the Thunderdome. I wanted the raw experience. And when I started doing comedy, going on 8 years now. October 15th will be officially 8 years, right? So shout out to Fredo Davis. He put me on at Dugan's. It was a spot in Stone Mountain, Georgia, right off Memorial Drive in Harrison's.
Yeah, shout out.
I had just went visit my school. I'm an alumni at Pro-Way Hair School in Stone Mountain. So I went, you know, like I said, I'm a barber by trade, master barber through
Master
Georgia.
barber.
Shout out to Beyond the Cut Barber Service. Holla at me if you need that fire fade. I'm coming with it. I'm telling you, these hands, they blessed. I'm telling you, I swear to God. But nah, so I went to the school, hollered at some of the younger classmen, just chopping to give them some motivation. And as I was driving back home, I'm stopping at the light, I look and I see comedy. And my bros at the shop, you know, heroes at home, you know, shout out to the owner. He has since passed, George Brown, one of the dopest cats you can ever meet. He was walking history. Like, as we say, black history, if you understood his storyline, you'd be like, wow, amazing fellow. So shout out to him, you know what I'm saying? George Brown, so definitely. And there was a lot of other guys. My man Dice, you know, Dice Durr, you know, out of Detroit. Matter of fact, his nephew is Jalen Brown that plays for Boston.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
and Dice, he's my daughter's godfather.
Hell
So
yeah.
he's my OGs. Like, these guys were like, man, you funny. That's my man. I said earlier, my man Monk, who's like, stop being a comedian.
Yeah.
You know, Monk, Morpheus. You know, my man Pyro, he's another comedian. I mean, I'm sorry, he's another barber or whatnot, friend of mine. And these guys just kept telling me, you funny. You like these stories you telling us. And I'm going to tell you what happened. What really kind of made me click, I was off one day. And a client came in. And people, it was such a dope shop. People were coming to just chill and just hang out and get their lunch and just kick it with their sons. And it was like a man cave feel. It had a big, nice, comfy sofas and a big screen. And it was just such an inviting, like both doors was open, the front door, the back door, people just coming in. And it was just such a beautiful experience for a young black man to develop himself, or anybody to develop themselves, right?
Yeah.
And I learned a lot. I learned how to tie a tie in that environment. I learned how to become the ideal version or the better version of myself by watching quality men around me, right? So I'm off. Guy called me, said, man, you coming up to the shop? I'm like, what's up? He was like, this such and such. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I remember, dude. You one of the customers, one of the clients. I was like, all right. So I just took it like he wanted a cut.
Yeah.
So I get there. He didn't want a cut. He was just passing by. His cut was fresh from Friday.
So you already been through.
He just pulling up with his son. It's a Monday Night Football. He just wanted to just kind of kick some shit, talk about sports, what's going on, and what y'all thought about the game yesterday. It was Sunday just yesterday.
Yeah.
You know, that type of deal. And he was just like, bro, he was just telling me, you know, at first I was talking to my man Morpheus having a smoke outside. He was like, what's up, man? I thought you was off today. I was like, my man called her this and that. He was like, oh, bro. He was like, yeah, dude, you know, cool people, just one of those genuine guys. And I was like, man, this dude called me up here just to talk. I was, I didn't, because I'm just a young
What you
barber.
supposed to expect, right?
I got a child. You know what I'm saying? I'm fresh out of school. I'm here to work. I haven't even experienced what comedy is. I don't know nothing about you think that I'm this person to showcase myself on a stage or a screen somewhere.
So that's what he wanted to talk about.
He just wanted to just give me flowers of just how funny I am and how the shop not the same when I'm not in there. You know, like your personality is a shining star type of vibe, right?
Yes.
That's what he was saying. He was like, nah, bro, you seeing it wrong. My man Monk telling me, nah, you seeing it wrong. And when he gave me a better perspective, a better understanding, I said, oh, okay. And as I roll with that, I tend to drive and commute with no music, right? Which I love music, but I just like to air out like that. And it just kept hitting me. And that night when I went and visit my old barber school, Pro-Way Hair School, right? I'm at the light and I look and I see comedy and I'm thinking about, before I look, I'm thinking of driving off, it was just like, damn. Like,
You probably contemplating what already happened.
because now I'm telling you what I'm thinking. I'm like, this personality, I need my own barbershop. or I was talking to my senior instructor, Mr. Whitfield,
I'm
and
a
I'm
great
like,
communicator with these people. I'm gonna work some shit. Yeah.
I could be a mentor. This, you know what I'm saying? And I already was going to Toastmasters, was teach you about public speaking, motivational speakers. I had been going to Toastmasters maybe 6, 7, 8 months, give or take, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm already in this space of speaking and, and just, learn how to use my words and learn, verbal structure and, whatever, right? Delivery, all that. And then I'm thinking about this, and all this is happening in real time in my life at the time, and I look and I see comedy.
You couldn't help it.
And I was like, I'm so true to myself. I'm like, nah, you got to move on that. I turned, went in, hollered at them, talked to the bartender chick, and she pointed me to my man Fredo. He was like, you could do 3 minutes. I was like, yeah. I ain't know nothing about 3 minutes. I was like, all right. He was like, man, you did comedy before? I was like, nah. He was like, what you do? I said, I'm a barber. He said, oh, nigga, you going to be all right.
You're going to be all right. Yeah, he already know.
He's like, nigga, you be all right.
You're all right.
He's like,
you
you're a
can
barber.
socialize in the crowd all day.
Right. He's like, where you from? I had the same thing. He's like, you from New Orleans? Or that's just your team? I was like, nah, I'm from New Orleans. He was like, nah, for real? I was like, bro, I'm from New Orleans. Bro. Like, like, I got to show it. People don't be believing it.
Oh, you got it right there. Yeah, you got it stamped.
The ink. So if I don't got it on any apparel,
it's
any merchandise, any type of wear, I definitely got it with me at all.
You brought up Reggie Bush earlier. I fell out of sports, but I got drawn into basketball for LeBron, and I got drawn into NFL for Reggie Bush.
Oh yeah. Some people have that impact.
Well, I'm from
athletes.
Athens, Georgia.
Okay.
So I grew up, when they say I gave up, fuck them. I ain't no Georgia fan no more. But they beat us. But how he played in that game and how he would play throughout that season took me to NFL. Reggie Bush took me to the NFL, and that transpired.
So does that mean you was a Saints fan?
Yes, I'm about to get to that.
Okay.
No other sport. In college football, I like the Horned Froggles in Georgia, if I was honest with people.
Okay.
In basketball, if I look back on it now, it's Miami and Cleveland. Now it has to be the Lakers, even though I don't watch it, but I stopped watching when he went to the Lakers. So there's always been a multiple. In NFL, there's only been the Saints.
Okay.
And when fucking shit, and now I'm having a brain fart on all the other people.
Yeah.
I'm not well rehearsed in sports, but he came in. I think it was 2 years in. They started building. Breeze was playing his role with him, and then they started getting wide receivers, and then they went for the ship.
Yeah.
So. To me,
and won in 2019.
Yeah,
no, I'm sorry, 2009.
Yeah. So
2009.
I was introduced to football in juvie through the big Pittsburgh Steeler game. I forget which game it was, but actual love and finding thrill in the game was Reggie Bush. So shout out to you in the hometown and for him coming through to bring so much life to that sport at that time for us.
We needed it. We needed it for sure. The Saints needed it at that time.
I ain't never met a trash Saints fan neither, by the way. I done met some sorry-ass Cowboy fans, some sorry-ass Falcon fans, but I ain't never met no trash Saints fan. Nothing but humble motherfuckers, you hear me?
Nah. We solid, man. We solid. We obnoxious, but you got to deal with it.
Yeah. But ain't everybody? Ain't everybody?
You got to deal with it. It's okay.
Hey, man, and speaking of obnoxious, I see you got Thursday last night. I'm assuming you hit up Uptown Comedy Corner.
Yep. Shout out to Destiny.
Shout out to Destiny. If you do,
for Bishop's, shout out to Bishop. We had a roast for his birthday. It was his birthday, so we just told a few truths and a few lies that night. So
all right. So I just wanted to make sure if you're going again, that's where you can catch them at too. There's another spot there for good open mics in Atlanta if you're around town.
And for anybody in comedy that's coming to Atlanta, holla at me. On all social media platforms. Duke Desdunes, DukeDesDunes, great, black, and funny for sure. And I know some people that I could plug you with, and these people will book you. They do good business. And I'm not here to say how funny you are. All I do is connect the dots, and then y'all handle your business.
Yep.
They're gonna judge you. I'm not booking you, but I can plug you in position to get booked. So. You can holler at me, man.
Don't come fucking with him without putting the work in. Don't play around with his time.
Yeah,
right?
Now I want you to take it serious.
Serious.
Everybody's not going to be a LeBron.
Yeah.
Some people going to be swaggy people.
He'll know if you're working or not. Yeah. Don't come up here just trying to freestyle some shit, making wherever you coming from look bad.
And also, stop thinking you fucking Deion Cole coming up there with your pen and pad. When you getting booked, I like for my shows. If it's an open mic, have at it.
Yeah.
But if I book you, do not pull out no pen and pad.
Yeah.
Unless you the headliner, you do the fuck you want to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I learned that rule too.
You think you Deion Cole around this bitch?
Well,
Like,
listen
what
here.
the
You say that.
the
I didn't
fuck?
necessarily look at it as a reference to that, and I got referenced that way. For the longest time, I had to have my jokes just on hand. It wasn't that I needed to reference them, but it made me felt good.
Like in your hand?
Yeah, yeah. It was a necessity for me to be
Okay,
like,
but
if I
do you
needed
go
a
in it? Do you go in it?
in the beginning, I
Okay.
did, but it was
At
such
open mic or even at book shows?
even in competition and stuff I performed in. Yeah, even when I came to Atlanta, some of those sets I had it up on stage.
Okay.
But I still recognize my flaw.
But these are still open mic as shows.
Ish.
though.
Yes,
So,
correct. I have not
you know.
performed for actual show with them.
Yeah, but if I book you and I'm gonna put a few dollars
I won't put one
in your pocket,
my point,
I
I'm not
would,
bringing it.
I would, yeah.
Yeah, because I got
appreciate you.
hounded by the comedians around here
Yeah,
about me bringing it.
I would definitely greatly appreciate it if you never do that. If
I never.
was- you know
I
what I'm
haven't.
saying?
But
So,
this whole, I've realized through what, we're 6 weeks in at this competition I'm in.
Right.
I haven't put it up once on stage.
Yeah,
and
I
don't
mean,
need
because
it.
at the end of the day, at some point you take the trainer wheels off. Now, I understand that now.
That's the best way to say it. I feel like I did.
Yeah,
I knew.
feel like
realized
Deion
I
Cole
got
does it, and it's kind of a part of his moniker. It's kind of a part of his his brand, right?
Yep.
But he did it, and nobody really kind of do it on a widespread that we aware of. So let him have it. Do something else.
Yeah,
you
just
know,
find
like
something else.
like for instance, I started to. Like I was doing, like we were talking about, like how you were saying about that joke materializing, the wheelchair pussy joke materializing. It was a time when I didn't pull out the condom and mangled up. You know, it was a time when I didn't do the physical humor of that. It was the time when I didn't pull the battery out when I talked about old girl and the tangy.
Yeah.
You know, it was a time when I didn't spit the tang off. There was a time when I didn't, and over time I was like, this would be good right here. Or I was just in the groove and I did it, but I recorded it so now I could do my film.
seasoning. Saw that seasoning.
There you go. It's like I'm like an athlete watching game tape.
Yes.
Like I could do film on it. I could see, okay, cool. Just like when I video record myself, okay, my body language right here. I notice when I stop, for me, I can't stop moving. Moving in motion does something to my mind.
Yeah, but moving helps you.
Even when I'm driving, and that's why I don't drive for a living per se, like drive trucks, because I enjoy commute. I don't like traffic. I fucking hate traffic, but I don't mind taking a ride, right?
Yeah.
So, and I think when I'm in motion. So if I'm walking, I'm thinking. If I'm working, I'm thinking. It's something about motion for me that allows me to think and get it out, right?
Yeah.
So when I'm doing comedy and I'm in motion, I'm able to flow with the thought. I'm able to flow with the bit and the set
vibe
and the
you on,
material.
that
It
tune.
just has a way to go. I noticed, and this is something I had to check once I watch myself. This is why it's important to video record and audio record, because they're going to give you two different things. You're watching your mannerisms. You're watching certain things you do. You'll realize next thing you know, you done got comfortable standing almost Seinfeld, almost Chappelle style with the mic stand, and you just kind of rocking it and just kind of,
You don't even know you're picking up on it.
You don't even know you're picking up these different things, right? So when I caught it catching myself, I'm like, when I do that, it's a crutch pacify, and I'm not getting my joke. You know what I'm saying? I'm losing it. I notice, why do I lose it? I don't know. Oh, I got to stop stopping. I got to continue to move. Pace, physical pace, and verbalized pace.
And it sounds like you're processing what physical action's going to work best as you're still formulating and perfecting it.
Physical humor heightens the performance level when you're delivering your comedy.
Yeah, there's this dude, I forget his name. He's the fucking director of Puppy Dog Pals. I'm GED certified. I think that you can make it in life without a high school diploma.
I thought you were CEO certified.
Well, I'm certified CEO, but my credentials out of high school is a GED, and that's okay with me. Certified CEO this week, they got something cool dropping. It's going to be a new look in respect to the new Bob Marley movie coming out. I want to say some sort of fashion of colors are going to be laid out in the way for him. I don't know if you a Bob Marley fan, but we all know Bob Marley.
Shout out to Bob Marley.
One of the greats, right?
Go.
certified CEO. He gonna be laying it down with a new look this week. Check him out. He made that whole show. He's a famous comedian. You'll know exactly who he is if I fucking pull him up, but I ain't gonna go searching it. But he has a good point. And you know what Kill Tony is?
Yeah.
So he was on Kill Tony, and his jokes were corny at best. Not to say he wasn't a good comedian, but they were legit, intentional, corny jokes. But the facial expression
Right.
at the end of every fucking joke, that was his whole point, the
And you know
whole
where
thing.
you know where I learned that from?
It was crazy.
I learned that from Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey? Yeah.
I learned, when
Ace Ventura is where I saw my first facial expression.
yes, that's for sure. He was able to elaborate
And Ernest
more
Goes
into
to
it,
Camp.
right? But I saw like old videos of Jim Carrey doing comedy, and he really wasn't funny in stand-up as far as verbal funny, but his physical humor was out the fucking roof.
Yeah.
And I was like, if I can take an element of physical humor, and this is where my man was saying, stop trying to be a comedian. That physical humor that you do in the shop when you cut the clippers off, and that's back when we had the cords on clippers, and you almost in the middle of the flow explaining yourself, and this shit is funny.
Yeah.
It's so funny that people not even mad that they help.
They ain't mad about it waiting.
One lady said, when she come in, she said, "Where the funny man at?" And I might be coming out the bathroom. I may be coming from the American Deli next door. She's like, "Funny man, I hope you got a lot of food because I'm gonna need you to eat the whole time while I'm getting my haircut. Because if you start talking, this whole room about to get erupted. My hairline go. She was just giving flowers and that's just being a funny guy in this environment. And that's what they kept saying. They said, bro, you have too many of those episodes, and people come back and they be like, yo, that guy is hilarious. The guy from New Orleans or whatever, And when he presented it to me, they kept telling me over time. And then that one day when that guy called me there, and I was like, man, this dude called me just to talk and kick it. I'm like, man, get your fucking haircut. Get a line in us. You know what I'm saying?
Pay me for something.
Put some money in my pocket. But he was really giving me no flowers. He was really giving me that insight. He was really giving me that clarity on self. But if you cloudy in your judgment and you don't know how to receive the jewels when they dropped on you, even unwanted, even when you're not wanting it, when it drop on you, got to know what you're dealing with. It's like a good woman, like you got married. You knew what you were dealing with when you found her.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Well,
and I also, when I say parallels in comedy, not only sports, I also take a parallel to comedy in pursuing a woman. The confidence that you have to pursue your woman to get her, or any woman, for any form of fashion, for marriage, for just a moment in pleasure, or whatever it may be. When you pursue that woman, you pursue with a sense of seriousness, a sense of
passion,
a purpose, and
drive.
also a drive, right? Confidence, right?
Stamina,
right?
Yeah.
You go on stage with that same mentality. That is the blueprint. So when I go on stage, I'm fucking you up with comedy.
All right,
I'm fucking you up with laughter.
I
You know
gotta
what I'm
ask a
saying?
real question now, because this is something I experienced recently. I walked into it, but the question is, can a crowd be ruined outside of the comedians? In the sense of production or something fails, the beginning of the start or whatever issue to start ruins the crowd's vibe. Can that vibe transpire no matter who is on, and you just are at fault? Or do you take those moments still with the same criticism to judge yourself just as harshly? How do you recognize if that is the case?
Say it again.
All right, so I've seen a couple scenarios where maybe it's the DJ running late or whatever scenario popped off, and the crowd is not in tune with the same vibe of coming for comedy.
Oh, you saying when the crowd is just
Crowd
not
itself,
receptive?
yeah. Like I'm saying, every comedian's going up. Nobody's getting jokes. And it's not like nobody's not having, like the comedians are chuckling, but
the crowd just don't give a fuck about you living
it
your dream.
ruined the whole, whatever situation.
So you know what I say
flatlined
in the moments, right? Those are what you call, those are the rough crowds. It's just simply put, those are rough crowds, right? If you want to win tonight, then abandon your jokes. They're not here to hear your elaborate thought that you think is funny.
Yeah.
Right? So take it on their level,
Be scenario based.
I know this.
With
You got to live in the moment with them.
Yeah.
So because I live in the moment and I'm in a raucous crowd, it's a Tuesday, you hang out with your wife on Fridays and Saturdays. Fridays, That's you and wifey time. I see a few couples in here in the shadows. It's Tuesday. You cheating. You with your side woman. Wifey at the crib with the kids.
Involving them.
You know what I'm saying? Like, even if I'm not striking hot, it's going to stick. I'm going to throw so much shit to the wall, something going to stick, right? You know, you see the lesbian couple right there. You know what I'm saying? You know, you see now you're just
Makes
receptive to the room. You're reading the room and understanding that y'all really don't give a fuck about what we doing here. That's okay. I don't either. So, you know, I'm going to hit you with some of my best jokes, but I think I'm going to go with my B line, maybe C to D line jokes, because I see the energy. So, matter of fact, I don't even have to say the jokes. If y'all just want to just shoot me your number, let me just drop it in the group text.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You could just enjoy that later.
Well, see, and I just we can wrap it up on this right here because I realize there's more rooms to judge than what we think as upcoming comedians. As in, like when you say judge the room, I continue to fall short sometimes on different rooms. Like I know there's rooms I particularly stay away from because I just don't suit well. It seems like.
What rooms you feel like you stay away from?
Oh, I'm not going to no church. If I know it's a more church based or religion or like just people, the environment, they know somebody or they know a lot of people come in. Yeah, I'm not going to try and push the envelope or say my version of jokes. No, because I'll get shut down by the crowd.
So.
And that's happened multiple times.
So you're saying you can't do clean jokes, or you can't?
No, I'm not going. Well, I can. Okay, this is the problem with clean jokes. I can do clean, but I don't realize it's clean until I'm forced to do it clean. And then when I feel like I'm doing clean comedy, it's fucking corny in my mind.
Yes,
to me, it's not funny at all. So
right.
It affects my performance. And it changes the way I look at comedy much.
Because you're not true to that brand of comedy.
It's not me at all.
You're not true to it. And if you're not true to it, it's okay. That's what I said earlier.
But I can call damn and bitch so many words.
If you're good at a certain thing, work that until you get very good. And when you build that confidence up, you can take a lateral move.
I'm going to try it.
Because it ain't nothing to, listen.
That's definitely a weakness of mine.
It ain't nothing to clean up your food, right?
That's true.
Trim the fat.
Agreed. I trim the fat.
People like fatty foods, right?
Yeah.
But if you trim the fat, make it cleaner, maybe not use butter and lard and all that type of shit for your meats and bacon. Maybe you could use like an avocado oil. You see how you cleaned it up and now you changed the palate for a different person, but it's the same core base.
Yeah.
So you can still be your same core base stuff. You can still talk relationship stuff, you and wifey, fatherhood stuff, you and children. You know what I'm saying? But you're just going to trim the fat and give them the clean core base of your comedy.
Yeah, and see, I guess I also don't understand what clean comedy necessarily is.
Non-vulgar, non-sexual, but you can have innuendos.
So in aspects, me and my brothers attempting to kill each other.
How are you going to present it? It's how you present
what I'm saying? But that's what
you
what
can't
gets
say
me,
words like kill. You can say unalive.
Yeah, see, I don't think like that.
But
it doesn't register that way.
But you have to know
you say it like that.
You have to know the audience, like how you trying to trigger them. You're not triggering them off the framework of who you are.
Yeah.
You're triggering them off the framework of who they are. So if you're going to deliver to that base, like when I do white rooms particularly, I can't use nigga all day long.
I don't know about that.
It makes the average white guy, not your version, a little bit uncomfortable. The average white woman, a bit uncomfortable.
Well, I was saying I don't know, but I don't perform in front of white folks.
But I'm just saying, in those rooms, like in those traditional white Caucasian rooms, you are a different hue and character.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So you see it a different alternative way from your traditional brother and sister, you see? So, but in those rooms, I can't use, so I have to twist it, and you can use innuendos and things like that versus saying that. You can, instead of saying pussy, you could say coochie, you could say the pocketbook, you could say something else. You can refer to and don't have to point at.
Now, you're saying this. Now, I'm listening to you, and I'm thinking about my jokes, and I'm thinking about other comedians I network with and in this competition with, and thinking about how they approach, and just your version, putting your version on them. And I'm using that reference for myself here. Thinking this way about our jokes in general, is that a good move? I believe I try to cut out cussing, and I try to cut out meat. I do agree. I look at both of my jokes in that way. I don't want to cut out my individuality and my vulgarness, but I do chop off what's unneeded.
You don't have to, if depending on what brand of comedy you want to present.
Yeah. See, I don't know what we say all these terms: brand of comedy,
Like,
read the room.
Who are you? In like, what's your voice?
I'm the crazy cracker.
Okay, then you need to be excellent at that.
I'm working on it.
So when you feel like damn good, like this brand stamps, when people know me, that's that crazy ass cracker. That boy gonna say some crazy. Watch this.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Upon walk up, when you walk up, that's that crazy ass cracker. Once you start getting that,
I appreciate you not saying Eminem. I really do appreciate you not saying Eminem.
it's all good. But
Fuck
you see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I got
once you start getting that, you start living in that spirit that you're aiming to hone in on, right? You want to possess that. That's going to happen at a point.
Yeah.
And then when you feel like I could clean it up because I've mastered my voice, now I can change the frequency a bit, and it's just a lateral move.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So
I feel you.
trying to do all to work to your strength.
I am. And then look, man, and saying that, look, lateral, I appreciate everything you've given to me. I appreciate all the opportunity you put me on, and other comedians that's followed up there with me, and how you looked out for us from Augusta. I hope you come back to Augusta
For sure.
and work some
I
more.
fuck with Augusta, man. Augusta put on, man. Like I rocks with Augusta, man.
Always a
I've
pleasure.
been up here. This is my 5th time. You know,
Yeah.
In the past few years, so I fuck with it, man. You know, for sure.
Well, again, Duke, Desdunes, thank you for coming on. Shout out again where you're going to be out tomorrow. We'll run that back one more time, and we'll wrap it up with this video and the sound, and we'll make our final acknowledgments, and we'll do that edit clip. We're good.
All right, man. Listen, this is Duke Desdune, DukeDesDunes, great, black, and funny. You can catch me tomorrow in Snellville.
Today.
I'm sorry. It's 1:30 in the morning. Today in Snellville at She Did That Soul Food. You know, we're going to have mobile bartender. We're going to have a mobile hookah. We're also going to have my man DJing, you know, DJ King Jaffe. Yeah, we're going to be playing trivia games, so you can win some things. And it's going to be 90s trivia, so it's that dope-ass trivia. It's that, you know, nostalgic area at this point trivia.
Yeah.
You know, for the urban market, you know, Martin, and, you know, we might have some Saved by the Bell questions. We may have some, you know, Everybody Hates Chris questions. We may have some, you know, political satire questions. You know, it's going to be a mix-up, you know, from movies to sitcoms to pop culture, things like that, you know. And
this ain't unplanned, just talking here. The guy works. He's been doing this for a minute.
Yeah,
great
for sure.
improv performer, great
sure.
comedian. This shit's going to be fun. Don't miss out today. Go
Yeah.
ahead. I ain't cutting you
Yeah.
off, bro. I want to
And that's at
establish, bro.
7.
I want to establish.
I appreciate that.
You
Thank
saying
you.
all that. Some people might take that shit and be like, oh, they're just going to be talking about this. No,
Yeah,
motherfucker.
don't
He's
find
ready
out
to
later.
train, bro. He's ready to entertain. Okay?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I enjoy entertaining. And you know what's crazy? When I'm dealing with women, right? They think that because I enjoy entertainment on that stage level, that I enjoy entertainment at my house, and I fucking don't.
No, I'd rather work at home.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd rather, like, if you came over, you and wifey came over and just chill out, and me and my lady, like, you know, I love that.
Chilling.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I just love the building. I just love, you know, we might be movie night. We might grab something to eat, potluck it. We may cook while we, you know, having people there in camaraderie. I like camaraderie. I like that. I don't like the pretentiousness. I don't like the, you know, but I understand what work is. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's work, and that's work me, and that's performance level. But when I'm in my intimate space, my life is chill like this. Like, your ambiance is just chill and relax and feel the peace. You got plants. You know what I'm saying?
It's fake.
But you
Those
got
are real,
plants.
but this one's fake. This
Yeah,
is
no,
for
we
sure.
smoking the best plants for sure.
Yeah.
But this ambiance, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you know, you got your wall art and everything and decor. Like, you know, I can see the structure. I can see deliberateness. I can see.
I got Red Fox. Don't miss out Red Fox
Shout
right
out to
behind
Red
you, bro.
Fox right here.
Yes, sir.
You know, so you got the bros up right above your head.
Yep,
right there.
took a new one tonight. We're going to put up on here and add to the frame.
Yeah, for sure. And
Absolutely.
I do apprate you having me, man. You know,
Hey, man, when you keep
anytime
talking,
you're in
bro, I'm going
Atlanta.
to play the tunes that wrote us out because this is like a minute long and you good. Just legit, you good, bro. Keep talking.
Okay.
They going to come.
All right. Well, you know, Duke Desdune, great, black, and funny. You know, New Orleans' very own.
That's right. Put them horns on for you.
Downtown Seven Wall, hard head representative. You know, what else could I say? Shout out to Atlanta.
Great father, great man, out here working. He's driving all the way today from Augusta to perform for y'all motherfuckers. Be ready. That's
Yeah.
what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I'm about
Because
to-
you're putting
I'm
in
about
the
to-
work. You're doing
Yeah.
everything. you're supposed to
And listen, I'm a real person now. Like, we talk about living my dream on this. Tomorrow, I'm going to get up. I'm going to go to work. I got some clients to cut. I'm a master barber. Shout out to Beyond the Cut Barber Service. You know what I'm saying? You can find me at 3293 Highway 78, Snellville, Georgia, 30078. You can catch me over there. Suite 7.
Sweet 7. We'll put
Suite
all this
7.
in on a text for it.
Suite B7.
Sweet B7.
Shout out to back of town, 7 Wall, downtown, 8 Wall, 9 Wall. Listen, man, from New Orleans, I done lived in the Iberville project, of contact. Like, listen, man, God has blessed me in 40 years. That don't mean shit been smooth the whole 40.
Yeah.
But God has blessed me. I got some great supporters. I got great family. I got a beautiful daughter. Shout out to my daughter, Chica. She sleep right now. She better be. She probably on that roadblock. I don't know. It's dope being a father. It's dope being a comedian. It's dope being a barber. It's dope being a friend. And I'm just at a point of true gratefulness at 40, man. Like meeting, dope spirits like yourself, the bros, my partners back home. Shout out to the homies, what I'm saying, back in Atlanta, residential home. Back in Atlanta, big play, shout out to
I had him pulled up.
my partner J. Lou, and shout out to all the comedy community, man. Atlanta's a dope comedy community. Like as I said earlier, anytime y'all coming through, the ATL, rock with me, holla at me. You know what I'm saying, and we could connect the dots and make it happen.
Sounds like a plan, man. I appreciate everybody tuning in. It was Palette Podcast with Tommy Narsha sitting in with Duke Desdunes. Y'all check them out. If you're in Atlanta, reach out, have fun, network, and get your work on. All right, peace.